What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing them the bacon NFL DFS video. We are breaking down Sunday Night Football. We've got the Bengals, we've got the Chargers, and hopefully we've got a really good Sunday Night Football game. So if you missed Thursday Night Football, we broke down the slate. We built lineups. Most of them cashed. We also did betting from those videos and from the cheat sheet and from the articles, and we hit pay dirt with that. So this is just one of the bets that I put in. $15 wager won $229.50. So we break down kind of the plays and using the cheat sheet that we have, using the statistics, and using today's sponsor, Outlier.bet, we found some bets that we really liked. And that's what I put in, and that's what we won. So everyone wants to do the boom, boom, boom touchdown parlays. I get that. I understand that the odds are better, or the odds are bigger, but the chances of winning are less. So what I like to do is I like to go to Outlier, which you can find the link down below to sign up if you would like. Right down below. You go here, you go into the game, go up to match details. You can look at everything. You can look at the summary, the injuries, the insights. You can go into the player props. You can check those out. Let's say, just for instance, first touchdown score, you think it's going to be Jamar Chase, plus 700 on DraftKings. What you can do is you can click it. It'll put it down here, and then you can add a bet slip and go out to DraftKings or FanDuel, whichever sportsbook you guys use, all of them that are here. It'll take you out there. You can then put your bets in that way. Those are what we used. So not all the player props are out yet, so you wait a little bit until, the game gets a little bit closer. Then the props will start coming out for this game. And that will be where we use Outlier to have some good odds, and we can see which sportsbooks have the best odds. So if you want to check them out, the link is down in the description below. Sign up for the 7-day free. You get a 7-day free trial. Everyone who signs up today gets a 7-day free trial. After that 7 days, if you decide you would like to get their normal package for $20 a month, let us know and show us proof that you used our link, and we are going to give you a month free of FTA Plus, which is a $30 value. If you go through 7 days and do their premium package, we're going to give you 3 months free as long as you used our link to sign up. You've got to use our link, and you've got to show proof. So I love Outlier. They are the sponsor of these videos and every single video. If you're new to the channel, here's exactly what we're going to do. There are chapters so you can skip ahead, but it would be awesome with all the free information we're giving if you guys would just listen to this video maybe multiple times, click on the ads, click on the video, and share these videos. Leave a comment for the algorithm. But we're going to give you the statistics from last year, all of 2023, through the first 10 weeks of 2024. We're going to give you the breakdown of the stacks. We're going to give you the plays at the captain and MVP spot. After all of that, we're going to build a few lineups on DraftKings. We're going to build a few lineups on FanDuel. And I have been asked to do this, but we're going to build some lineups on Yahoo as well. So that being said, we're going to break down everything. We're going to look at it. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, because hopefully you're in for a treat, because we've got, depending on when you watch us, we have the main slate breakdown for FanDuel, DraftKings, and Yahoo. We've got Sunday Night Football here. We're going to have Monday Night Football. We also have Stacks video out. And it depends on when you watch us. I might not have the video out yet, but we are going to be doing a betting video for Week 11. Also, with Sunday Night Football bets, I'm going to put some of these bets in our absolutely free Discord down below in the description. Make sure you check it out. So let's look at the history of showdowns and what to expect. Now, these are basically built for DraftKings, but we're also going to use them for FanDuel and Yahoo as well. But since last year, 84% of the winning lineups have contained at least one quarterback. I love both of these quarterbacks in this situation. Only 6% of the winning lineups use all 50,000 here on DraftKings. Only 16% of the lineups had a $200 a player or less. So T. Higgins is expected to be playing. So 200 or less, I don't think there's going to be anybody that even comes close here, unless someone gets hurt during the weekend or is out due to sickness and someone gets called up since the salary's already out. I doubt we use any player that's under 200 or less. 80% of the winning lineups had a $4,000 or less player at flex. So basically the Bengals defense and down is where we would look at there. So maybe a Khalil Herbert, a Burton, maybe a Drew Sample, who, didn't do anything last week, but against Vegas, 14 yards and a touchdown. So everyone was on Drew Sample against that Baltimore defense, and he did absolutely nothing. I'm one of them people. The average salary used on DraftKings, $47,500. Now looking at stacks, the way you look at stacks, 44% of the time a 4-2 stack has taken it down. 36% of the time it's been a 3-3 stack, and 21% of the time it has been a 5-1 stack. On top of that, captain percentages. 39% of the time winning lineups, the captain spot has been a wide receiver. That Thursday night football game between the Bengals and Baltimore, obviously Jamar Chase was in that spot, and he's got a great matchup here. 28% of the time it's been a running back, 17% of the time it's been a quarterback, 7% of the time a tight end, 7% of the time defense, and only 2% of the time it's been a kicker. Now, we've had some games on prime time that have been down to just kickers, and those are disgusting. We do not like them. They are annoying, and that is not what we want in a showdown. That's what it looked like it was going to be on Thursday Night Football until it wasn't. And then it was glorious, and we got a lot of points. We won our parlay. I cashed almost every single lineup in the showdown that I built for Thursday Night Football. So I built 23 lineups for 60 and cashed that out for 90, and then won the bet. So I won the $225 bet. So I won over 300 on Thursday Night Football. We are going to roll that in, and we are going to continue that for Sunday Night Football as well. So using some information, we're looking at the Bengals Chargers. Currently, the Chargers are a money line favorite at -120, so it's pretty close. Chargers are only a 1.5 point favorite right now, as of the making of this video, and the over/under is currently at 47.5. So they think it's going to be a little bit high scoring game, which hopefully it is. Hopefully we hit over 50 for that. But this is a completely free tool. But if you go to our NFL tab, you go to our matchup tool. So we have volume reports, snap counts, red zone stats, all of those. We got fantasy points per game on FanDuel and DraftKings. We got Vegas odds. We got chalk. So you play cash, you want to play the chalk. You play tournaments, you want to fade the chalk. We've got projections for both FanDuel and DraftKings, prop bets, and a cheat sheet. But the matchup tool is what I want to show you. A completely free tool, which we're going to use. So if you look at this, you can see that the Bengals defense has given up an average of 21.6 DraftKings fantasy points. They are ranked 28 out of 32 against the opposing quarterback. So Justin Herbert could be in store for a good game here, according to the defenses through the first 10 weeks. The Chargers, they rank 11th against the QB, 15.9 fantasy points on DraftKings is what we're looking at there. If you move to the running back position, you've got the Bengals ranked 9th, so they're pretty good. They give up an average of 20.9. Chargers are even better. They're ranked 3rd out of 32, only giving up an average of 17.6 to the opposing running backs, so Chase Brown, Khalil Herbert, depending on who's out there for them. Move over to the wide receiver. The Bengals defense ranked 20th. They do give up some points there. 34.5 DraftKings fantasy points, 28.3 on FanDuel. Chargers defense is pretty good, 28.1. I still like Jamar Chase in this situation. I think he's pretty much matchup proof at this point. Then we look at the tight end. That's the telling one. So we're looking at the Bengals. They gave up the 15.4, which is 29th out of 32. Chargers 13, 10.6. Now, this isn't an end-all, be-all. These are just the statistics that we can use in our matchup tool going through that. So if you want to check that out, that's under the first tab of the NFL section of the website. But what we're going to do is we're going to build a couple of lineups here on every site. So kind of just looking at captain spots. Personally, I'm going to start off with Jamar Chase. I think I really like what he brings to the table. He's obviously the clear number one. It's kind of, I don't think it shouldn't be too much of a concern. He is $18,000. He's very expensive. Putting him in here limits your lineups a little bit. But I think we could look around here. I think, obviously Joe Burrow needs to throw to Chase. I think we get the other Chase in there as well. So that's 3 Cincy. I think we could go a kicker as well, Evan McPherson at 5,000. That leaves us an average of 3,400. So it really depends. Gus Edwards is questionable. He did play last week. He missed 4 weeks. Didn't do much. Had 55 yards, but didn't do anything else than that. He was 200 last time. He's 3,400 this time. He's now at 3,400 here. Then we're at, Joshevich. He's been involved. He just hasn't had a touchdown. He had a touchdown, I guess, 2 weeks ago, but only 1 reception on 4 targets, 10 yards and touchdown, 8 fantasy points. Not enough. But he is getting targeted 4 times a game, but the Chargers defense is pretty good. You got Khalil Herbert. Now, Chargers defense is good against there. Didn't do anything. Hasn't done anything the last 4 games that he's played. He obviously got traded last week, didn't do anything in that game. Was active, didn't do anything in that game. That scares me a little bit. But again, we are building different type of lineups. Vidal, inactive, coach's decision last time. You just don't know if he's going to be in the game. So Haskins, I believe he had a touchdown last week. Yeah, touchdown last week. Only 2 attempts, did get the touchdown, a total of 4 yards. This is what I'm talking about, 6.4 fantasy points. Hassan Haskins would be a cheap option. You've got him in there at 2,400. You could go different directions. It really depends on the Chargers, what their defense is going to do, who's going to be out there. And then if the defense holds Cincy, maybe they run a little bit. If they don't hold them and the Bengals go up, they're probably not going to run as much and they're going to have to throw the ball. And then where are we going to go here? So different ways to go about it. You got Hayden Hurst in here. Hasn't done much, but the Bengals defense against the tight end, not very good. A cheap option there. You could look at Hayden Hurst. Really just depends. And then your tight end for the Chargers outside of that, the actual starter being, who is the actual starting tight end? Dissly. Will Dissly. I mean, he's been involved, but not hugely involved. So maybe we go a little bit crazy and go Hayden Hurst. You could look at Hayden Hurst. Game log wise, I mean, he's in there each week. He just really hasn't done much. You're saving 1,800 on here. Maybe you take Gus Edwards out. You go flex here. You go Will Dissly. So if you go Dissly there, you could do that. And then if we were, you could do that. Have both the tight ends there. You got a 4-2 stack with Bengals. I will leave this in here for now. Obviously, if value opens up throughout the weekend or throughout the day before the game kicks off, we'll take a look at this as well. But honestly, it's going to be very difficult to build lineups like this unless you have like maybe both kickers. So if we were to put in Jamar Chase as your captain and Burrow and McPherson, let's see about taking out, let's do both kickers. So then we got Dicker, the kicker. Unfortunate for him. So we're looking at 5,500 the rest of the way for both of them. Will Dissly does have a good matchup, so we'll put him there. Now we're at 5,800, which is great. Because at 5,800, you could have Josh Palmer. Touchdown, 1 touchdown 2 weeks ago, 342 yards. Depending on where he's at, we could look at that. I don't think, the Chargers defense has been pretty decent. Not too bad, but again, it depends since we're having a Cincy stack here with 3 of them. It really just, where are we at on that one? It's kind of hard to tell. Tanner Hudson, big day last time, 7 targets, 6 receptions, 1 touchdown, 42 yards. Did have a rushing attempt as well. So he was 1,600. I think he could be involved as well. Even if Mike Gesicki is the starter, I think Tanner Hudson is in there as well. So we're at a 4-2 stack, 4 Cincy, 2 Chargers yet again. So that's a second one with Jamar Chase being the captain. But we could probably find different ways to go about this. Let's kind of think about it that way as well. So for instance, let's just say Joe Burrow has another big day. He is our starting spot there, depending on where we're at. So we'll put Joe Burrow at there. We'll have him throw to Jamar Chase. We'll have the other Chase boy as well. Now we've got 3 more guys. So we've got T. Higgins, I think is going to be back. He's questionable, but I believe he'll be back. So that's 4 right there. Now, a very cheap option. And if you want to see all of the plays that we like at the MVP or captain spot, and then all of the plays that we like the rest for just flex, that is in the cheat sheet as well. We also have optimal lineups, not for showdowns, but for the main slate and stuff like that. So we've got Milton. So Khalil Herbert is there. I understand that. But Kendall Milton didn't do anything last week and was not active the game before that. So maybe he's not 400 is very cheap. But you're at 1,900 here. If you want to get a little creative, you could look at Hayden Hurst. You could look. Williams is probably not going to do anything. He hasn't done anything. He's been active all of these weeks. Hasn't touched the ball. Wild. That's wild. Trent Irwin could always be a cheap option for a wide receiver. Hasn't done anything for the most part. 15 total yards in however many games he's played. So do we want to go Jalen Reagor? Played last week, 1 target, did rush a little bit, didn't do anything. He's 600. You got to get creative. Maybe he has a big game. You never know what's going to happen. But yeah, it's kind of hard to build some lineups here. But we could look at maybe some sort of Haskins. Maybe he gets a vulture touchdown, and now we're at 1,900. We go Hayden Hurst in that situation. So I feel like building these lineups, it's going to be very difficult to build some of these lineups with the two big guys as your captain spot and still feel comfortable in that same situation. So let's take a little bit of difference here and look at what a maybe J.K. Dobbins MVP captain spot looks like. I think you get Jamar Chase in there. I think you could get Chase Brown in there as well. Another one we haven't talked about, Justin Herbert in a great matchup against the Cincy defense. You know what? We're at 2,000. I want to get Jalen Reagor in here a little bit. At 600 allows you a little flexibility. Then we're at Yoshevich, which probably goes down a little bit with T. Higgins being back. Drew Sample, like we said, didn't do anything for us last week. You got Khalil Herbert that I don't trust. You got Burton, Jermaine Burton. He's been involved. He's been targeted a lot, but he's only caught one of those. 3 total receptions in 10 targets. That's not ideal. You got Hassan Haskins. You got Hurst. It's probably where you're at. Is that DJ Shark? I didn't even realize he's on this team. 1 offensive snap last week. Nothing. But he's a guy who could play. Yeah. I think a sneaky one could be DJ Shark. Shark. I can't remember how you say his name. Baby Shark. Again, because Cincy's defense is so bad. Now, this is a 4-2 stack, but in the other way, looking at the Chargers. So those are just some of the lineups for your DraftKings section. We're going to look at FanDuel real quick. It's a little bit different. It is 1 less spot, though. There's not 6 spots. There's only 5. So the stakes being a little bit different, let's be a little bit different building this lineup. So I still think Jamar Chase makes it as MVP. I think we could get a lineup here without a quarterback. Whether or not that's going to take down the whole thing, I don't know. But we're trying to be a little bit different building it. So one guy we did not talk about was Ladd McConkey. Still, that name is one of the most ridiculous names here. Where are we at now? So we've got 9,700 for 2 spots. You could do both kickers. You could do 1 kicker, depending. I think Cameron Dicker, Mr. Kicker, we'll put him there. Now we're at 10,500. So maybe we go Quentin Johnston. We look at his game logs. Only targeted twice last week against Tennessee, 24 yards. Time before that against a Cleveland defense, 118 yards. He has receiving touchdowns in both games, but then he's had some stinkers of games here as well. So that's the only thing. He obviously missed some time between Denver and Cleveland. So you could put him in there. We've left 500 on the table. That's 1 lineup. So let's go 1 lineup with that. So no quarterback, just absolutely no quarterback there. Now let's try a lineup with the quarterback there. So we got Chase, we got Burrow. Now we're at 9,500 the rest of the way. I think we can get us some Ladd in here. Got a little bit of Ladd McConkey. Now we're at 8,750. Depending on where we're at, we could look at Hudson. So Tanner Hudson being involved last week, 7 targets there, 1 receiving touchdown. Now we're at 11,500. We go Chase Brown. We go Quentin Johnston. Like, we know that the Chargers defense is pretty good, but maybe Chase Brown breaks 1 off, gets a touchdown. Maybe he goal line steals a couple of them here, and he scores there. So we've used both lineup, all salary, 1 lineup without a quarterback, 1 lineup with a quarterback, but also looking at the MVP, 1 being Jamar Chase. Now let's do it on the other side. Because of how bad Cincinnati's defense is, let's look at J.K. Dobbins as a flex spot here. And let's say, for instance, whatever reason, we think the Bengals are going to go from behind or Joe Burrow is going to throw up some interceptions or anything like that. So Dobbins, spelled that wrong, Dobbins at the MVP spot. We've got Herbert throwing it to him or dumping him off passes. We also got Mr. Ladd here. So now we're at 11,000 for 2 spots, depending on where we want to go. Maybe we look at McPherson. Let's say, for instance, it's a kicking game and McPherson's there. Now we're at 13,000 that we can have. So T. Higgins is back. I don't mind T. Higgins. You could look at Quentin Johnston as well. But T. Higgins being back, as long as he's not being held back for any reason, maybe they double team Jamar. T. Higgins is back. We've left 1,000 on the table if you want to go in, maybe change it up a little bit. So we have 9,000. If you want to do the 10,000 range, you could take out the kicker and go Quentin Johnston. I just don't know if Joshevich has what it takes in this slate with both T. Higgins back and Jamar Chase being there as well. So those are some lineups with FanDuel. Now what you guys have been here for, we've got Yahoo. And not a lot of people play Yahoo. If you noticed 2 weeks ago and you saw we looked at it and I showed you and I built a lineup using the information that we talked about. And in that, we took down first place in the main slate, $65,000. $0 entered, $150 in my bank account, which not mad about that whatsoever. I don't play on Yahoo. I cannot play daily. So I don't think I can enter this lineup that I'm going to put in there, but I'm going to try for you guys. I can play the free ones and I can play every other site. It's just weird how the state works. Okay, so we're going to try the Superstar. We're going to put Jamar Chase in there. He's very expensive. But, you know, I think we could build around him. Put Justin Herbert in there because if Jamar goes off, hopefully they're up ahead. And we've got to throw Cincinnati's defense is not that good. So then let's put in a little bit of Chase Brown at 24. Now, we're averaging about 18 the next two, just depending. I think we could get in Dobbins at 25, and now we're left with $12. We come down here, we're looking at Will Dissly, who technically, Gus Edwards is questionable. DJ Shark here as well. Will Dissly is here. I think I want to go with Will Dissly. Now, this is just one lineup. I'm going to submit it. I don't think I'm going to be able to because it's a paid game, but we'll definitely see if I'm even able to do that here. So let's see. I'm probably going to say I'm in a banned state or something. It's not going to let me. Yep, that's so stupid. I hate it. Okay, so there's one lineup. There's one lineup. Let's just clear the entire lineup. So that's one. Let's do one with Joe Burrow being the Superstar. Let's put in Johnston here because we haven't really we've talked about him, but we haven't used him a ton. We're going to put in Justin Herbert. Now we're average $25 for two players, which is not bad. Let's do Dobbins for $25. And now we're at $26. We can pretty much go Ladd McConkey and down. And I think that's where I want to go, Ladd McConkey in this situation. So this is a 4-1 stack. Burrow being the only Bengal guy. Maybe he puts up 5 touchdowns. Maybe he spreads it out so much that he puts up 5 touchdowns. And then we can go a 4-1 stack Yahoo with the Chargers being the 4 stack there. So 4-1 there. Let me know what you guys think about Yahoo. If you guys want me to continue with Yahoo, I will. Not a ton. I don't have a lot of run with it because I can't play it in my state. So that is what we've got. If you want to see some more, make sure you check out the Monday Night Football breakdown. We've got that going. Make sure Dallas and Houston. Dallas defense is bad. Hint, Houston, let's go. We've got all of the other information. If you want to look for some bets for Sunday Night Football, I will drop them in the Discord. But I'm also going to tweet out pictures, trying to get my name out there more on Twitter. So if you guys, or X or whatever you call it, if you guys follow us over there at advisors_team and like and retweet or whatever they call it now, everything that we put out there, that would be very helpful for me as well. If you ever want to tag me in anything, you can tag at advisors_team and put the hashtag bringing home the bacon, because that's what we want to do. So that's what I've got for Sunday Night Football. Let me know your guys' thoughts. If there's any plays I didn't talk about, if any sneaky plays of MVP spot you guys are thinking about doing, let me know that as well. Type that down below. Let's get some interaction going. Good luck on Sunday Night Football. Let's bring home some bacon. Peace.